your attention, please, for a couple minutes, a short speaking program we have today on a great day. I hope it's a run of the great days after all the rain we had recently. First, I'd like to welcome everybody to this grand opening of this special occasion of our brand new Public Works facility. Having worked in this facility for the past 4 or 5 months with the Park Department, I've noticed the efficiency of your Public Works Department, more effective, maybe tenfold than when we were scattered all over the city. There's a bunch of people to thank for this, and I'll let some other people speak and do that. First, I'd like to thank, and if you're here, please raise your hand, all the Board of Park Commissioners. Round of applause for Park Commissioners. Thank you very much. As you know, we have the BAMs, the Fire Department's repair, so we'd like to thank the Board of Fire Commissioners. All right. And especially the Board of Public Works, whose chairman is behind me, Mr. Francis Calabro. Also, for volunteering his time and helping us out, Al Taylor, our DJ, who works in the Bureau of Refuse. Thank you, Al. At this time, I'd like to call up the guy that's in charge of the whole place, Mr. David Simpson, our Director of Public Works.
Thank you all, and thank you all for coming out. Today is a fabulous day. We have many people to thank for making today possible, and we'll hear from some of them soon. But for a moment, I'd like to focus on the men and women of the Waterbury Department of Public Works. Today marks the beginning of National Public Works Week, and I can't think of a better way than to recognize the people of Public Works across the country by celebrating this week an event that officially opens this amazing facility. To all the Waterbury Public Works employees, thank you. Thank you for all you do on a daily basis for the city of Waterbury and its residents. This facility brings together staff from parks, refuse, streets, engineering, traffic, our trades professionals, and our fleet services, all under one roof, along with staff from the Fire Bureau of Apparatus and Maintenance Services to our new home. The Public Works Management Team includes people that direct these bureaus on a daily basis and is led by two of the most dedicated deputies any agency could wish to have, Pat Mulvihill and Mark Lombardo. As you enter this facility, you'll see a poster hanging on the wall in the foyer that displays this year's theme for National Public Works Week. It all starts here. And it truly all does start here for the Department of Public Works in Waterbury. To the people of Waterbury and the city administration, thank you. Thank you for entrusting us to serve you in so many different ways, and it is an honor and a pleasure. John, now let's hear from some of your other folks that you have with us today.
Good job, David.
Of course, a project of this magnitude would not be possible without the Waterbury Development Group, and to say a few words on their behalf, James Nardozzi.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It was certainly our pleasure and our honor to build this for the city of Waterbury. But there's one person I want to call out by name, Santiago Bolaño. Santiago, can you raise your hand?
Hey,
Santiago is a project manager at WDC, and he's a civil and environmental engineer. This was his project from the day we hired him. It just happened to be the day that we started, and he saw it through to the end. And I truly think, as a fellow Waterburyan, you are all going to be amazed when you see what a gem we have here in Waterbury. So on behalf of WDC, thank you. Dave, good luck with this place.
Thank you.
Our favorite part of the program, as always, is the politicians. At this point,
Easy one.
At this point, I'd like to bring up State Representative Ron Napoli, Jerry Reyes, and our Senator Joan Hartley. Come on up.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. On behalf of the Waterbury delegation, Representative Reyes, Senator Hartley, and I, we wanted to get a proclamation for the public works workers who deserve this proclamation. So I'll read the proclamation. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the health, safety, and well-being of the people of Connecticut, and whereas such facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, engineers, and administrators representing all levels of government who are responsible for the design, build, operate, and maintain the transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, parks, and other structures and facilities essential to serve our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens and civic leaders and children in Connecticut to gain knowledge of, maintain, and progressive interest in and understand the importance of public works and the public works programs in their representative communities. And whereas this year, 2019, marks the 59th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Therefore, I, Ned Lamont, Governor of the State of Connecticut, in recognition of substantial contributions that the public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees have made to our national health, safety, welfare, and quality of life, do hereby proclaim May 19th through the 25th, 2019, as Public Works Week, signed by Governor Ned Lamont with the official seal of the State of Connecticut. Thank you.
And of course, the person that made this happen, especially the location of the place. I can tell you one thing, all the public works employees are forever in his debt for having this come true. Our mayor, Neil O'Leary.
Wow, this is quite a party. Thank you. So 2 years ago today, 5/19/17, this project was actually slated for approval. So congratulations to all. You know, I really, I'd be remiss if I didn't start out by mentioning the Lever family. This property, 10 acres here and 30 acres across the street, we bought from the Lever family for $2. That was their contribution to this project. There was some environmental work that had to be done. It was estimated to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000 to $750,000. And it actually came in less, but you know, it was our vision from the very, very beginning in 2011 that the right location for this facility was right here. And you might recall there had been a lot of discussion about putting this location on the 10-acre parcel on the south side of Waterbury Industrial Commons. I don't know if you all remember that. We thought that was not the right location. It was a major part of our campaign. We felt that the Waterbury Industrial Commons was one of the largest tax revenue opportunities in the city of Waterbury. We felt that the geographic location wasn't right with the traffic down there, over there on Huntington, and we just felt it was just wrong. And so we met with the Lever family, Dan Lever in particular. We talked, we had tours of the property, we saw all the environmentals. And Dan was so impressed with the vision at the time, he said, listen, I don't even want to sell you the property, I'm going to give it to you. And so, you know, it really was an amazing contribution. The McDermott family, the McDermott Corporation, the McDermott family, obviously the Lever family being the owners of that corporation, have been corporate stakeholders and generous givers to this city for decades. And this is just another perfect example of it. Look at this place. It is amazing. 2 years. This is what can happen when government works together. First of all, my big shout out is to the Board of Aldermen. This was a very lengthy process getting through the boards, a lot of discussion about, you know, what did we need? Did we need the Cadillac plan, the Chevy plan? You might remember all those conversations. At the end of the day, working together through the Public Works Department, Dave Simpson and his staff, you know, we took tours, we brought the newspaper everywhere, and, you know, the fact was, it was ridiculous. The way that the city had been doing business prior, we had locations all over the city, we had our refuse department almost in Cheshire. It made no sense whatsoever. We were paying almost $1 million a year in rent at these different locations, and it all came together. I know my speech is a little lengthy, but it's not very often when you get government working together into a successful project such as this. So I really can't say enough good things about the people that were involved, starting with, of course, the Board of Aldermen and our great people in the Public Works Department. It is the first day of Public Works Recognition Month. This is perfect timing for this event. To find out it was 2 years to the day for the approval was Dave Lepore actually found that out somehow, but at the end of the day, it's a perfect opportunity, and the sun is shining here on Waterbury once again. Obviously, this is a complicated project, as we mentioned. There were some environmental issues. We've got this 10-acre piece here. We've got the surrounding areas, you know, which is all heavy industrial, which we felt was the perfect location, as I mentioned before, not to mention the close proximity to the highways. And at the end of the day, KBE Construction was selected as our construction manager. I can't say enough positive things about KBE. We have Anthony Mancini with us here today, who is the principal member of KBE with us here today. You know, he and I had so many conversations about this project, and I'm so proud to have him here today with his wife and his daughter. You know, this is what Waterbury is all about. Anthony Mancini is a Waterbury native, and you know, we really were happy with KBE and continue to be happy with KBE because of their presence here in Waterbury. And this project came in on time and under budget. Congratulations, KBE. And I'll also mention that they did another major project in Waterbury, which was actually bigger than this prior to this project, and that's Carrington School. Another complicated project, another project on time and under budget. Thank you again. The designers, Weston and Sampson, are here with us today. We owe them a great debt, working hand in hand with the Public Works people, the people that do the job every day, whether it was the refuse department, whether it was the park department, whether it was the street department, whether it was the trades. All of these people sat in a room together for a year and a half and put this project together the way it's supposed to be put together, and so it would meet the needs. And so I'm really proud of the effort and the collaboration from all of the city workers to sit down with the designers and come to a project such as this that fits our needs perfectly. You know, I can't say enough good things about the Department of Public Works, but I've got to first mention our department chair of the Public Works team, and that's Francis Calabro, who have you met behind us. A board member for 35 years and chairman, the Calabro family have been major stakeholders in the city of Waterbury for many, many decades, but the leadership of Chairman Fran Calabro is what makes things like this happen and makes this city a better place to provide the services to the people who reside in it. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. And he makes some great homemade wine. And of course, I've got to recognize one other person here today, another longtime city employee committed to the city, whose son John is a park department foreman, and did I have that title right, Johnny?
Supervisor.
Supervisor foreman. That's what I thought. Mrs. Phyllis Egan is here with us today. Mrs. Egan, thank you. You might recognize Mrs. Egan from the Parking Authority, so if you get any parking tickets, just go down and see Mrs. Egan. I don't wish you a lot of success, but go down and see her anyways and say hello to her. 47 years with the city of Waterbury. Thank you, Mrs. Egan. So what else can you say about Dave Simpson? You know, his leadership, you know, in private business for most of his life, right down the street here on Watertown Avenue. Everyone in the city got to know him because of his work ethic and the pride that he took in taking care of vehicles and running his service station. He came to work for this city quite some time ago. I'm trying to remember now. It's got to be 15 years or more. And I didn't know him at the time, just Simpson Automotive, and got to know him well. And when you work closely, as he was a supervisor rising up through the ranks of Public Works, and I was over in the police department, we had a lot of interaction. And Dave was the guy who could call 24/7, whether it was Christmas Day, New Year's Day, it doesn't matter, it didn't matter. The guy picks up the phone on the first ring, and within 10 or 15 minutes has the problem well underway. You know, that's the kind of example we have here in Waterbury with our department heads, and I'm very proud to acknowledge Dave and his wife Chris here today and his family. And I'm also really, really proud of our deputy directors, Pat Mulvihill and Mark Lombardo, for their work, and especially John Egan as well as the supervising foreman. I don't know what that all means, but I know one thing. These guys all work together. They work together for the betterment of the residents of the city of Waterbury, the taxpayers, the people who matter. For our young on school mornings when we don't know whether to call school or not call school, that's a no-win situation. But either way, they take the time and converse with the superintendent of schools and come up with the right decision. Nothing more important than children's safety. At the end of the day, you call them up when a tree falls, when there's a pothole, when there's a problem in the neighborhood, when there's a traffic flow issue, when there's a problem with the parks, when there's a problem with the streets, when there's a problem in the schools with our tradespeople. They're all working together. Now they're working under the same roof, which is even more efficient, better for the citizens of the city of Waterbury, and much more costly efficient. We're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars by having all of our workers working primarily out of this facility. And I give Dave and his team a great round of applause and recognition. You know, at the end of the day, it really is a lot of fun being mayor of this city. Obviously, there's good days and bad days in any job. But as I look around and I see all of our employees and I see the dedication that they have, and this is my 39th year of continuous service with the city of Waterbury, I can tell you we've come an awful long way. We really have. I remember in 1980 working in a patrol car and trying to get a plow on any street, and it was not an easy task. I remember calling for sand and salt and waiting hours. I remember in the middle of a hurricane or a horrific incident, you know, trying to call together, all of us working together during floods or hurricanes or blizzards or snowstorms, and the guys from Public Works were always there, always. I remember the policemen and the firemen working with the Public Works guys, carrying people in and out of buildings, high-rises, buildings in the north end, the south end, third floor. During these events, everybody working together. The guys from Public Works were always our backup, always the first responders' backup, then and now. The difference today is the leadership, and the leadership has always been good. I don't want to send the wrong message, but I can tell you what's different today is that all of these people work closely together to this very moment in time, and it makes for a better city. I can tell you, during those 80s and 90s, and even the early 2000s, you know, I used to hear it all the time as police chief. You know, the roads aren't safe, the roads aren't ready, the potholes are terrible, you know, there's flooding in my backyard, there's flooding in my front yard, we got major issues. And I can tell you, with all the storms and all the incidents that we've had over the last 8 years, and there's been plenty to talk about, I never, ever hear those complaints anymore. We have isolated incidents, and we recognize that. We have a blizzard. Obviously, it's going to take us time to address the needs of the community. But I don't hear the continuous complaints over and over and over again about quality of life issues in this city of Waterbury because of this public works department that goes out there 24/7, 365, and cares. They care about you, they care about your families, they care about your children and your parents. And this Public Works Department is amazing. And we all know it's all about leadership. It always is. It's about leadership and direction. It's about making tough choices, unpopular decisions, internal unpopular decisions, but they make them. And they do the right thing for every single one of the residents in the city of Waterbury. And this is a perfect example of what can happen, as I mentioned before, when we have people who are willing to make courageous statements, are willing to stick up for the employees that work so hard for them, are willing to sit at the table and not leave until they're satisfied that their opinions and their vision have at least been heard. And I think this is what makes the city of Waterbury great, and I think this is why you're all here today. I can't tell you how honored and blessed I am to be the mayor of such an unbelievable workforce in this city, and to have residents such as you who care so much about the people who work for them each and every day. I wish you all a beautiful day. I wish you have some great times here today. The touring is unbelievable. Wait until if you haven't been inside, please get inside. I want you to see the work that's been done here and the craftsmanship of the contractors and the designers. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to enjoy a beautiful Sunday and appreciate all the people in the city of Waterbury who work so hard for you. Thank you, and God bless you.
We have a scissors there for you.
Oh. Where's the ribbon? Right behind
Yeah,
us.
right there.
Okay.
Still the sharp.
Can we get all of the aldermen,
Yeah.
all the park commissioners, all public works, everybody who had anything to do with this project, our elected officials, our state reps, Senator Hartley, please come up and get behind the ribbon so we can get a beautiful picture that'll be blown up. It'll be put prominently on the wall inside this lobby. Thank you.
Give me one. I don't wear red anyway. I asked him if I could wear my yellow one. He said no. I said, good. Much better. About 99.9%.
All right. You ready, sir?